So hello, everybody. I'm Paul. I'm on the research team at Dash Core Group. Dash Core Group is the main company of developers of the Dash blockchain. Dash has been around since 2014, I think, 2014 or 15. But I have only been around at Dash for 2 years about now. So yeah, I'm very excited to be here. And what I'm presenting today is GroveDB, which is the database that our developers built for Dash Platform, which is our new smart contract blockchain that should be releasing hopefully within the next few months. GroveDB we built it as a kind of standalone product, so other projects can implement it. It's available, it's coded in Rust, so it's available on crates.io. We just released V1 2 weeks ago, and yeah, we're pretty excited about it. We think that it should really give developers a pretty nice advantage by building on Dash platform, and any other projects that implement it. Gives some great functionalities. So what's so awesome about GroveDB is it's the first database to enable cryptographic proofs for complex queries. So what that means is it allows users to query Web3 database like a Web2 database. Like, it gives them very comprehensive and just intuitive querying ability. So querying meaning like searching. So you can do things like give me the names of all the restaurants in this city, and it will return the results of that query back to you with cryptographic proof of the query results. So there's a very popular protocol called the Graph protocol. Pretty much all of the top dApps on Ethereum use the Graph today because what they do is indexing, essentially providing this, what I'm talking about, complex query ability. But they and other services, indexing services, don't provide any cryptographic proofs. Instead, they have economic incentives and stuff to try to persuade nodes to not lie about the data that they're serving customers. However, GroveDB with cryptographic proofs gives the user the ability to verify the data that they receive from the database. So it's truly trustless. And yeah, that's what's pretty cool about it. And it took me a while to understand what that meant, really. But yeah, it's very exciting, and I'm excited to talk about it. So yeah, let's see what we have on this slideshow. Features complex query proofs, inclusion and non-inclusion proofs. So you can prove that data is in the database, and you can also prove that some data is not in the database, which is not a very common type of proof. Like, there are a lot of other databases out there that have inclusion proofs for not for complex queries, but for single key retrievals. You'll enter a string of random numbers and letters or whatever, and you can get a proof that one thing is in the database. But having non-inclusion proofs is not very common, so that's a cool feature. Immutable and mutable storage. So it's permanent storage, or you can choose to allow users to edit the data that they've already submitted. And it's ACID compliant. Also, we have CRUD operations as well. I'll add to that. So how GroveDB looks, and again, well, I haven't said this yet, but if you are interested in GroveDB, here, let me give you some resources before I go into this. Okay, we have a website, grovedb.org. grovedb.org. You should find all the resources that you would be, if you want to read more, go to this website. And also you can find the link to the GitHub here, which you can, download and play with and integrate into your own app. So yeah, there's that. Now let me go back to this one. Yeah. So how GroveDB does this, allowing cryptographic proofs for complex queries, is the structure of the database is basically we have at the very root, at the highest level of the database is a root tree, and it's a Merkle tree that you can get Merkle proofs for. And we have other subtrees whose root hashes are stored in nodes of the root tree. And those trees have subtrees whose root hashes are stored in them, and it recurses on like that. So basically what we do is you can have a subtree for secondary indexes, and that's how we implement indexing and how we really get complex query capabilities along with cryptographic proofs. And the root hash of the root tree allows you to prove the entire database just from looking at one value. So there's that, yeah. A comparison table of GroveDB versus some of its closest competitors. We have proof aggregation, so you can get proofs for more than one thing at a time, which you can see like nobody else does that. Operation cost decomposition and estimation. That means operation costs are the computational and storage costs, not necessarily in, I think there's variables, so you can set computation time to a certain dollar amount and storage to a certain dollar amount. These are variables you can set. And before you do an action, you can estimate what the cost will be. And then after you do an action, you can also get what the cost would be. And that way, if you integrate GroveDB into your project, you can easily charge the correct amount to the users if you wish. Yeah, immutable data storage, mutable, open source, free to use, of course, it's open source. Yeah, query language is NoSQL, and it's written in Rust. So I think that covers what GroveDB is. Yeah. I'll also point out on the website we have some nice tutorials that I'm not a GroveDB developer, but I wrote the tutorials, so I'm proud of the tutorials. So check them out. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
For enlightening us, Paul. It was really to have you and your team involved at our event. I mean, you guys have been almost for 10 years as the first movers on many. So I have a few questions to ask to you, because I understood reading through your documents, Dash also operates by a proof of work mechanism. Is that correct?
The Dash blockchain is the core chain uses proof of work and also proof of stake, I believe.
I see. And may I ask what? Sorry, please go on.
GroveDB was built for Dash platform, which is a side chain to the core chain, and Dash platform is purely proof of stake.
I see. And how will this protocol be compared to Bitcoin? Like, what are the additional advantages that you offer in your ecosystem?
Yeah, well, I think, of course, Dash, the core chain has way faster transactions, way cheaper transactions, along with some other cool features like instant send, which allows you to send stuff instantly. And we have, what do we call it? Coin join, which is something that gives transactions a little bit more privacy. But this new blockchain, the side chain that we're building, Dash Platform, is really meant for developers to be able to build dApps on top of. So smart contracts and stuff like that.
Got you. Thank you so much for clarifying. And you also operate masters, have some groundbreaking perks, such as private transactions. Could you please share a little bit more about the functionality of these master nodes in making these private transactions?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, we have master nodes, and it's I always thought it was kind of cool, like the master nodes actually vote in the DAO to fund my company. So technically, I work for the master nodes, which is a really cool concept. I think it's very decentralized, and we have the master nodes are responsible for CoinJoin, which is this feature that you can use for a transaction if you want to send to somebody else. There's like some mixing action. Your coins kind of get mixed with some other coins, and it makes it more private.
Thank you so much for mentioning. Then final question, you were mentioning about the block with the tutorials you actually have created. I would love to check them later. Could you share one more time where we find these tutorials and your initiative?
Sure, yeah. I think all the resources that you would be interested in are at grovedb.org.
Great. So dear listeners, if you want to learn more about this initiative, definitely check Paul's work. I thank you for joining us. It was a pleasure to get enlightened by your showcase. And I wish you a very great day further.
Thank you very much, Kai.
My pleasure.
Bye-bye.
You're most welcome. Bye-bye.